Hey guys, welcome to Rolling Homestead, and today we are going to be pressure canning green beans. Stick around.
Leaving this place, the sun's about to break. You're riding shotgun, the feeling we chase. I'm wide awake, take me away now. 'Cause I won't go down the same old path again now. No, I've been running out of air, so let me catch my breath. Feeling I've got's making me crazy. If I'm having a
Alright, thanks for joining us, thanks for coming back. So today we're going to do a really quick way, or I should say quick, it's not that quick, but an easier way to pressure can. And we're going to do cold pack system. So right now we have our green beans here that we just picked. This is the first picking of the season, and here's some more. We have our salt. We have our canner. We're going to have some water in here, and a little trick that I like to do is I like to put a splash of vinegar in the canner just to keep the hard water spots and stuff off your jars. So we washed our jars, and now I have them into the oven. They're at 250 degrees, and to make sure they're sterile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this out. And then we are going to start packing jars. And why I say this is a easier way is you look at it this way: your canner has to come up to temperature, then you have to let it steam out to make sure that there's no air in there. And then, so you got 10, that's 20 minutes there. You got a 25-minute cook time, and then you've got the time for rest. So you got anywhere from 55 minutes to an hour per batch. So then what we'll do is we'll start filling these up. Oh. Almost forgot the salt. So you want to put 1 teaspoon of salt in your jars. And then we can fill them up. Like so. And cold packing makes things a little bit quicker, but it's still time consuming. And what we have here is we have some of the rattlesnakes, that's why they're purple. Green beans. Sounds like the kids are up. And we're going to have to pound these in and pound them down and make sure that we can fill these up. And you want to give them a 1-inch head space. So right up at the top of the threads here is 1 inch. And let's get our water going. I think I can get 7 jars in there. I gotta remember here. Remember, because you have to pressure can green beans because there's no acidity in there. So you just can't do a safe, well, there's people out there that do safe water baths, but this is one way that I know that my green beans won't go bad. I've tried it before where just a water bath and then you end up with bad green beans. So as you can see, that was pretty full, and when you shake them, fit a little bit more in there. Also, guys, you want to make sure that there's no chips in your rings, or in your jars. I'm sorry, not rings. Your rings are new. Don't use mason jars or anything where the lid's fixed on. Make sure that they're actually canning jars. That way they can withstand the pressure in the pressure canner. Okay, I think we're looking pretty good there. I'm going to do one more because I think that we have 7. And we'll pack this one down. So you get a little too much in there. And if you have good jars, and a quick and easy way for you to get your bubbles out is on a mat like this. All you got to do is give it a tap, and that'll release the bubbles. Or you can take the knife or the tool that comes with the canning kit, and you can go around the outside, but you do want to remove all the bubbles, air out of there. So now we just got to wait for this to steam up. We will fill it up. I do have my lids. Make sure that your seal is in good condition, and this moves up and down. This is your blow off, so if something would happen, you see that that's loose. And I actually take a toothpick and I run it through to make sure that there's nothing trapped, because when you lock this in, that's how you can destroy something in a hurry, is if it cannot release its pressure if it does go overboard. So make sure all your stuff is in good working condition. We're set up and we're ready to go. I don't have the cans in there. So once my water here boils up, I will fill these jars up to 1 inch of headspace. Like I said before, we'll put our lids on. We'll put our caps on. You don't want them to crank them tight, but you want them just snug. And then we'll cook them in a pressure canner. While I'm doing this, I'll get my other jars washed. So there, the water's boiling. And we're gonna probably have to run this a few times. Get this going again. So now what we want to do, like I said, is we got to remove that air. I'll take making sure that there's no air bubbles in there. As you can see, there's little ones here, and now they're gone. I can find all the tools. So here's the two tools that you can get in your kit. This one also you can stick in to remove the bubbles. Knife works just as well. Also on here it tells you where your 1-inch head space is, so you can actually check your water level. But we know from doing it that right there is where you want to be. What I'm going to do now is I want to make sure that my top of my glass is clean, the top of my jar there, so I'll run that around making sure that I don't have any water or salt laying on the top of there. Take my lid, and dry it off, stick it on. There we go. And like I said, we're just gonna snug them up. And they are ready to go into the canner. And our canner is ready. I'm gonna turn that down because I gotta get the other ones going here so we don't burn up all that water. And for us, we're gonna be using the 10 pound, I think it's 10 to 11 pound for on the wobbler or the wiggler. I fell into that 1 inch of head space. So pretty much I know that one of these bowls filled up level will give me 8 jars. So total I'll be in this today. We'll be running 16 16 quarts of beans for today. So I'll have to wash up another 8, and then, so today I'll be running probably 3 batches through the canner, or until I have to go to work. And the good thing is too, guys, is that your first batch or your first picking is probably the most prominent one. What we have is that we're still full from last year with green beans and everything that we did. So this year we decided that we were going to can most of our stuff. So then we're going to take this, finish filling these up. On my 1-inch. There we go. So we'll get that going again here shortly. And now I want to make sure that I get all the where'd my bottle holder go? Oh, there it is. So I want to make sure that I get all of the air out of these. You can see when you do that, most of the air will drop up. That's all you got to really do is, see the air bubbles coming up. Alright, then we want to, once again, like just go through exactly the same steps before. Wipe it down. You're making sure again that you have no chips on that lid. If you do find one with a chip, mark it and you can make art out of it. Whatever. And then we'll pull these guys out. And you guys, you don't really want to use reused lids, so at all times use new. And I say that because most people that can know that. The first time I tried it, I'm like, well, I didn't use this for that long. Don't work very well. Okay. Let's get this back up to a boil. And you also want to make sure and check that you don't have a lot of rust in your lids. All right, so we're going to put the other sets of lids in. and this is cranking. So now we're going to put our jars in. And when we're doing this, we want to give it a little bit of room around it so you don't want them touching. Ooh, hot. There we go, we got our first batch of beans of the season in the canner. So now we got our lid on tight, so what we want to do now is this will pop up when it's hit the steam, when there's steam loaded in there, and then we want a steady steam for 10 minutes. So once I see this thing pop up and I see steam coming out, I will set my timer for 10 minutes. I'll let it steam up for 10 minutes. And once that's done, then we can put our wobbler on. So I'll bring you guys back for that. Alright, so the seal has popped up, and now we have the steam that is coming out here, so we want to make sure that this steams for a good 10 minutes. So as it starts to flow like this, I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes, and that'll actually making sure that we get all the air that's built up in that pot out. Air pockets and stuff like that. So I'll bring you back right about when this is ready to go. You can see it's starting to shoot out the water and stuff like that. We want to release all that. So I'll bring you guys back when we go to put the wobbler on, and then when she starts to rock, and we set it for the 25 minutes. Alright guys, so we're back here. We got about 16 seconds left before I can put the wobbler on there. It's been steaming like this now for a steady 10 minutes. Alright, there that is. So now what you want to do is you want to put your weight on, making sure that it can rock. And then we're gonna, now it's a lot quieter. And then what we're gonna do is once this thing starts to wobble like this, that's when we're gonna set our time for 25 minutes. So I'll bring you guys back when it starts to do that. Alright guys, so as you can see, it's starting to jiggle. Now I want to set my timer. $25 minutes. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit more here. And then, so pretty much that is your canning process. And all you do is you will pull your canner off, set it off to the side, and release the steam. And then when you're able to open it up, you can take your jars out and set them off to the side and repeat the process. So we'll bring you guys back when it's ready to come out. So So it is rocking and rolling. The timer has gone off. So now what I want to do is I want to remove it from the heat. And this is the part that gets loud. Meanwhile, I'm going to fill my other jars with water. Is for this knob right here to go down. That says that it's safe to open up the canner. And remember guys, it's really important that you sterilize your jars. I washed my jars, I put them in the oven at 250 degrees. They were sterile and clean. My lids are sterile and clean. You want to make sure there's no bacteria in there that could just start the molding process in the jars. You want everything to be really nice and clean and sterile. See all the air bubbles releasing out of there. Again, make sure you wipe your lid, your rims off real good, checking to make sure that there's no chips in them. Pretty much what you saw, I got 14 quarts that I got total out of that, and so there's a little bit left in the jar, in a bowl. I'm going to hold on to that till tomorrow, because I have to go out and check again tomorrow to see if there's any more beans. Usually when beans start there, you go out there and a couple hours later after you pick and find more, so. it's your preference and how much you got going on. I've seen people that actually just let this thing sit till it's completely cooled off. This is lowered down by itself. There's no more steam coming out. I've seen, and then before they crack it, I've seen people let them sit there overnight. So if you're only doing like 7 at a time, they let everything sit there overnight, come back and take it off in the morning. It's up to you what you want to do. This is out of them 2 bowls. This is about what I got left. So in the morning I'll go out and check for some more. See if I can get another 7 jars full so I can run another batch. If not, I'll just blanch these and throw them in the freezer. All we gotta do is when this all cools off, we get our jars out there. We gotta make sure that we have the right water level again and pretty much start the process over. Above the actual boiling temperature. My water should be boiling by now. We can fill the rest of these jars up. There, she finally set down. Turn that noisy thing off. And while I was waiting for that, I did put my teaspoon of salt in each jar, you know, packed it tight. So we did all that already. So this is done. There's no more steam coming off. When you take this off, always take it off away from you because there's going to be a rush of steam that's still kind of in the pot. And the water is extremely hot. And there you have it. First green beans of the season. There's our 7 jars. So there's actually lines in here to let you know if you're at the right mark for depth of water in here. So I gotta add a little bit more water. But there you guys go. Now we're just gonna repeat the process like I said, run our second batch. So I hope this, guys, it helps. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of your first time in the first season for green beans. So you all take care, God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.
Leaving this place, the sun's about to break. You're riding shotgun, the feeling we chase. I'm wide awake, take me away now.